everyone, welcome back to Lemphalation. This is Jovita here, and in today's video I have my friend Shruti here with me. Shruti is here today to have a conversation with me. We are doing a little Q&A. So in my previous video I did mention that I'm going to have like an interview series with a few of my friends, and Shruti is going to be my first friend having this session with me here today. So Shruti has a background in IT, and she moved to Melbourne as well as an international student a few years ago. So if you'd like to know more about her background and her experience here, then please keep watching. So Shruti is going to tell us more about the degree that she pursued, and also will be introducing a bit of herself.
Thank you, Jovita, for introducing me. So, hello everyone, I'm Shruti, and I have a background in IT. But before that, I did my bachelor's in electronics and communication. But thereafter, I worked in IT. So my experience was for a year and a half, and I worked for Wipro as an ETL developer. And after that, I thought of pursuing my master's, and I just did a bit of research, and I decided to come to RMIT in Melbourne. And there were few course opportunities here, like there was business information technology, but the course I chose was business IT because I thought of getting into a bit of both. Like I wanted a course which had an amalgamation of both business as well as IT, and not just core IT. So yeah, that's how I ended up choosing that.
So I do remember that you did move to Melbourne in 2020 when COVID happened and a lot had changed around here. So just wanted to ask you, what was your experience like enrolling at RMIT, and did the university do anything to like support students during that process?
Actually, I reached Melbourne in around end of February, and I went to the uni for quite, I think, 2 weeks or so, and then suddenly this lockdown was announced, and we got an email that you are not supposed to come to the uni campus from tomorrow. But yeah, the transition was easy. So we had this portal where we used to connect for our lectures. So yeah, that was not really difficult. We just had everything online now. And so yeah, if I talk about the support that uni provided, so yeah, there were certain helplines where you could reach out to them for any emotional support or any sort of counseling, and you could ask them actually the questions like, how do you cope up with such a situation, because that was a time when people arrived and they didn't know much people around. They didn't have friends or family here to support them. So I think yeah, that was a really helpful thing.
That's good. And I think those supports are also available now. If you are enrolled in like universities, you can access these kinds of supports as well. So Shruti, just moving into the admission process, just wanted to know, were there any scholarships that were offered, and did you apply for any scholarships yourself?
So I remember that there's a scholarship called Future Leader Scholarship, which is actually given to, I think there are a few Asian countries, I think India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal or something, and you get 20% scholarship for the people who have citizenship of these countries. So I applied for this scholarship. So the agency that I came in through, they mentioned me about this option as well. So yeah, that's how I applied to it, and yeah, I got 20% scholarship for the coursework.
So that's a really good opportunity for many students who are like intending on coming to RMIT, and I think you can also access different scholarships on the website. I'm sure there's like different kinds of scholarships that you could apply for as well, but thank you for sharing that, Shruti. Now just moving into the coursework, just wanting to know a bit more about the units that you studied, and what was your experience like with those units as well.
For me, as I mentioned, that it had both units from both business as well as IT. So I had few subjects that were more on the business and theoretical side. For example, knowledge management, business system design, and a few others. And there were few that were specific to IT and statistics. So there was one statistics subject, statistics, and then there was database as well. So yeah, these were pretty much the major units that I had, and I was more keen towards, I think, the technical ones, and because I was thinking about getting a job in a technical field, so I was like happy with those subjects. But yeah, so you have I think different pathways coming out from the degree. You can either pursue business and analytics, or you can get into IT as well. And if I talk about my experience, it was pretty much easy for me because I didn't actually have a lot of examinations. I just had exams for I think a couple of units, and for majority of the units it was just assignments that would be like individual assignments or group assignments. So yeah, it was overall a good experience for me.
So Shruti, just wanting to know in terms of, because your course was mainly online, were there any challenges that you faced or any difficulties during?
I would say if I talk about the lectures or tutorials, there were not a lot of challenges because you had this access to chats, and you could just turn on your microphone and ask the questions. If you had any doubt, you can just clear it then and there itself. But yeah, if I talk about the assignments, so usually what happened is people would go to the uni, collaborate, sit together and decide on the tasks. But for us, it was all through Teams calling. So it was very difficult to set a time. Like everyone would not agree to a similar time, and yeah, there was a bit of an issue there. But yeah, it was all right, I would say.
So Shruti, just moving on to job opportunities, just wanted to know what were the on-campus job opportunities, like part-time roles that students could apply for?
So there's a careers portal for us, and then you can just go in there, and there are a lot of job options listed on campus. You can just apply directly through the portal. Other than that, there are other job opportunities as well. Like there's RMIT Connect, which is sort of an information hub where students go in for any sort of information. So there are jobs there. And other than that, of course, there are other cafes and stores, etc., where you can always apply for the job.
That's great, Shruti. Thank you for sharing that, because that way students will know that there's a lot of on-campus job opportunities as well. Just wanted to know off-campus part-time roles, what are the kinds of job aspects that students could look into?
So yeah, there are really good opportunities for students in RMIT, because since RMIT is situated in the city, there are a lot of part-time options. There are a lot of cafes, restaurants, retail stores where you can apply for the job. So you can either use the job portals to apply, like Seek, Indeed, and lots of other the usual websites that we have. You can just directly apply through that, or you can just go walk in to the restaurants or retail stores and hand in your resume, and if they have any job opportunities available that suits your experience, they will just give you a call back. And
that sounds amazing. Yeah, that's really good. Now just moving on to full-time roles and internships as well. Just wanted to know what was your experience looking for full-time roles, as well as what kind of internships are available for students.
So as I mentioned, the careers portal that we have, so there are a lot of internship opportunities, like outside internship opportunities mentioned in that as well. Other than that, similar portals like seek.com and stuff, you can apply for the internships. And same as with the full-time job opportunities. There are also graduate roles that you need to apply for, which is usually applied a year before. So if you're graduating in say in 2025, you will have to apply for it in 2024.
Okay. So how do you get to know about these graduate roles? Like, is it advertised on the portals, or do you have to network with people to get to know about it?
So it is there in the portal, in the general job portals like Seek, LinkedIn, Indeed, etc. Other than that, there are other graduate specific websites, like I remember Graduate Connect or something, and there you can find these listed, these jobs listed. Other than that, there are career fairs. You can just go there, and you have like different people coming from the different industries, and you can just like talk to them about like when the applications are opening and what is the process of application. And yeah, so that's it.
Okay. And I know, Shruti, that you have undergone the whole process as well to get a graduate role. So is there any specific requirements? Do you need to have like prior experience, or is it like open to everyone?
So for graduate role, you don't need any sort of experience, prior experience. So it's just like you might have done some internships. I think that's enough. Even if you have not got that opportunity of doing any sort of internships, I think you can just mention about the various projects that you did in your uni or maybe in your bachelor's or something of that sort. You just need to explain them the skills that you have. Yeah, so for me, I applied around May, and then the interview process started. So the first thing was a video interview in which questions come up on the screen and just you have to answer, which are those are the behavioral questions. And once you clear that round, there's this technical round where you have I think there were some mathematical questions, and then there was coding questions. So you're given options like which code you're comfortable in, C, Java or Python. You just select according to which language you're good at, and then there are I think 3 to 4 coding questions. Like a few of them are easy, and I think one of them is a bit difficult. And once you do that, there's I think the personal interview thing, and that is again behavioral. So they'll just ask few questions around your past experiences, your projects that you did in your uni. And then for me personally in Telstra, there was this session where I was given 15 minutes of time to prepare a presentation. So I applied through data pathway. So within that they'll give you a topic like AI, and you have to prepare a 15 minutes presentation, and you're just given this time, and then you have to just present within 5 minutes. And yeah, that's all the scores add up to your final
And do you get to know the results like within a month or a few months? Like how does it work?
Yeah, so for me it was I think within a week. They give you a call and they'll let you know, and the proper offer letter will arrive in the week after maybe.
And then you start the graduate role after a year.
Yeah, so I think for me the interview process started in May, and I think mid of June I had the offer letter, and the job actually started the year after in Feb.
That's great. Thank you, Shruti. Thank you for explaining that in detail. Now just wanted to get to know in terms of like the professional growth, were you required to do any kind of courses or anything to up your game in this graduate role, as well as how long is the graduate role for, and do you have like a contract and does that get extended after?
So the graduate role basically lasts for around 12 to 14 months. It depends on the company, of course. Like some companies it's for 12 months and for some it's 14 months. And it's like during the first 14 months when you are actually in that period, the graduate period, you have a lot of time other than just the proper work. So you have a lot of time for personal development. So you can get access to different websites as well, learning websites. Like for me personally, I have access to a Cloud Guru, Data Camp, and all these websites. So there are plenty of courses available, plenty of certification opportunities. Even the companies, they give you certain vouchers like 50% off on the Microsoft certifications and all those things, so you can like do that depending on the project that you are in, whatever is required. So if you're working in Azure, you can do Azure certifications like so yeah. And after end of the 14-month period, usually everyone gets the permanent role. I've not heard anyone who did not get through that. But I was told initially that if they feel that you're not capable of, they'll let you know way before that, so that you can improve yourself and work on it. So
yeah, that sounds like a really good opportunity, and I think many students would like to look into that as well. Just wanting to know, as you've like transitioned from a graduate role to a permanent full-time role now, what kind of career opportunities have you been offered in this company, and where do you see yourself heading in the next 1 to 2 years?
One thing that I would like to mention here is like when you're in a graduate role, you're given opportunities within different teams. So you get it's they call it rotation. So for the first 3 or 4 months you're working in one team and then you move to the other team. So end of the graduate role you have this option where you can choose the team. If you like the first team better, you can ask them that you would like to go back, and if the budget is there and they want a new person in their team full time, so they'll like let you be in the team. So that's how the transition other than that, I would say it gets more technical because initially since you're a graduate, there's not a lot of responsibility on you. You are just sort of in a learning phase. But once you transition, you have to take up the work where you are you yourself are responsible for the entire piece of work. So yeah, that's the major change. And if I talk about the future opportunities, again it depends on your interest. If you're more into technical, you can like move forward in the, like for example for me, I am a data engineering analyst, so you can move on and work as a data engineering senior specialist, or else the other pathway would be, if you want to get into the management side of it, you can become a chapter lead, which is the manager. So yeah, you have different pathways where you can move forward.
That sounds amazing. That's really good. And thank you for explaining that really well as well. So Shruti, just moving on to finances now, just wanting to get an idea of how manageable is it with a graduate role job, and do you have any kind of budgeting tips for students?
So I think first I'll talk about how it's going on for me now. So for the graduate roles, usually for most of the companies the pay is quite competitive, so you don't have to worry a lot, but of course it depends upon the location where you're staying, and if you're sharing your house or if you're living independently all alone. And if you're living independently, it may go up significantly, but if you're sharing, it's quite easy to manage the expense if you're working in a graduate role. For students, it's pretty much the same. It's preferred that if you stay in a shared house, if there are like a couple more people living with you, you can like share all your expenses, and it's quite manageable. So for rent in a shared apartment, it would go around 1,000 to 1,500 a month. And for groceries, I usually spend around $100 a week. And other than that, there's commute, for which you'll spend around 50 to 60 bucks a week. So yeah, that's all the major expenses.
It actually has gotten so much more expensive compared to back in like 2017 or 2020. But just on the same lines, just wanted to ask you, what's one of the most challenging things you faced studying and living here in Melbourne, and how have you coped with that?
For me, the major transition was like you had to do a lot of things yourself, like all the cleaning, cooking and all those things, which I was not used to doing in India. So that was a major change for me. So you have to take out time for all those things which are really important. So there's this thing, like you have a lot of assignments going on, and within that you have to cook food, and it's obviously way less expensive to cook at home. You can't like order food every time. So that's one of the things that you think about a lot. So another thing that I would like to add is like you're living away from your family, especially like for me, there were not a lot of people to connect with, because I did not get a chance to make a lot of friends, because I didn't go to the uni. It was all online, so there were just few of the friends who I connected with, who I did the assignments with. So it becomes quite challenging, and you don't have enough emotional support, but that's what makes you stronger eventually. So yeah, that was a major challenge for me.
Yeah, thank you, Shruti. Thanks for sharing your challenges. So just wanted to end this video with a little rapid fire question and answer session. First one here is, what's one local food or cafe that every newcomer should try?
So there are a lot of cafes, and if you have a sweet tooth, there's this place called Kumo, which is a Japanese place, and they really do a souffle pancake. So it's in different flavors. So yeah, that's a good thing to try.
That's great. I haven't tried it, but hopefully I'll try it soon. Can you describe a typical weekend in your life here?
Currently, it's mostly like I usually we do hang out with friends on weekends, and other than that, do all the usual chores like cleaning and like preparing for the week after.
Yeah, that's that's the usual weekend life here. The next question is, what's been the most surprising aspect of living in Melbourne?
So one of the surprising things I would say is how friendly the people here are. I used to think that it would be quite intimidating for me to connect and talk to people, but it's not like that. They're really friendly and welcoming here.
That's great. That's a really good point, and I do agree to that as well. And since Melbourne has a lot of beaches and mountains, which one would you choose?
Beaches.
Beaches.
I don't like trekking much. I like mountains as well, but I don't like the efforts that you need to go up the hill. So
Yeah. And which beach would you say is your favorite? Mordialloc is a good beach. You should visit it if you haven't already. So Shruti, what would be your favorite cuisine that you've tried in Melbourne so far?
So I think I've tried a lot of cuisines after coming over here. So I've tried Thai, Korean, Japanese. Out of that, I would say Thai is one of the favorites for me.
And I'd like to end by asking you, what is one advice you'd give anyone who's thinking of like moving to Melbourne?
I would just like to say that it's going to be a really great experience. You just have to be patient. It might be overwhelming in the beginning, but as you move forward, it gets easier. So just be patient, be strong, and take the leap, and it will all be worth it.
Thank you, Shruti. That was really good advice. So that was it. This is all we have for today's video. If this video was helpful and informative to you in any way possible, please don't forget to give this video a big fat thumbs up and subscribe for more. Don't forget to hit the bell icon right next to the subscribe button so you get notified every time I upload a new video, and leave your comments in the comment section below as to what kind of videos you'd like to watch next. But thank you, Shruti. Thank you for taking the time out and sharing all of your experiences. I really appreciate it. And that was it. I hope to see you in my next one. Until then, peace and love. Bye.
I remember that you came.
जी और कुछ डायरेक्टर साहब
मैं संजय लीला बंसालिया.
Perfect.
To check out, please go on your.
I was already going to say this, Sanjeev. Can you stop interrupting us?
And yes, there are. I'm sure there are a lot of. I'm sure there are a lot of options available for scholarships for students.